Welcome back to the channel RF Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most overlooked yet surprisingly valuable coins in American numismatic history, the 1981 Lincoln penny. That's right. A coin you might think is only worth 1 cent could actually be worth thousands, even over $500,000. That's not clickbait. Some 1981 Lincoln cents have sold for more than $585,000 at auction, and in this video, I'll break down everything you need to know: the history, the different varieties, what makes them valuable, how to identify the rarest ones, and what the current market is paying for these hidden treasures. So grab your coin collection and a magnifying glass. You might be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. Let's get started. To understand why the 1981 Lincoln penny is so interesting and potentially valuable, let's take a quick trip back in time. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse, or front, of the coin features a profile of Lincoln that is still used today. The reverse originally showed 2 wheat ears, which was replaced in 1959 with the Lincoln Memorial to mark his 150th birthday. That design was used until 2008. Now, 1981 was a pivotal year in the production of Lincoln pennies. It was the last full year the United States Mint produced copper-based Lincoln cents before switching to the zinc core cents we know today. The official transition to zinc happened in mid-1982, but some planchets and dies had already begun changing behind the scenes. This transition period created multiple varieties and errors that collectors today are scrambling to find, and paying big money for. Before 1982, pennies were made from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. But due to rising copper prices, the mint decided to switch to a cheaper alternative: copper-plated zinc. This change drastically reduced production costs but also opened the door to confusion and interesting minting anomalies. Now here's where it gets juicy. Some 1981 cents were struck on experimental planchets or with faulty dies as the mint prepared for the transition. These coins are extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors. Even regular 1981 copper pennies can be worth more than face value due to their metal content and collectible status, but certain varieties and mint errors are worth thousands. Yes, thousands. Let's break down the key varieties you want to keep an eye out for in your change or collection. 1981 no mint mark. These were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Most are standard, but a few have strong double dies, especially on the obverse. Look closely at the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1981. If the letters or numbers appear doubled or blurry, you might have a rare double die obverse or DDO, similar to the Philadelphia strikes. Some Denver coins exhibit doubling or center strikes. These can bring in hundreds or even thousands depending on the grade. 1981's proof pennies from 1981 were minted for collectors and sold in special sets. However, even here, 2 varieties exist. This version has a blurry or filled S mint mark. This version has a clear, sharply defined S mint mark. The Type 2 is significantly rarer and worth a lot more. High-grade examples have sold for over $3,000 in auctions. Here are some of the most valuable and rare errors and varieties from 1981 that could make you rich. 1981 double die obverse. As mentioned, doubling on the motto or date can increase value dramatically. A clean, strong double die can fetch $500 to $5,000 or more depending on condition. That if the design is not centered, and a good portion of the date is still visible, this error can bring in $100 to $1,000 depending on how far center it is. A clipped or crescent-shaped penny, where a portion of the coin is missing due to a minting defect, is another valuable variety. Some 1981 cents were mistakenly struck on dimes, foreign coin planchets, or transitional metal compositions. These coins are so rare they can sell for tens of thousands of dollars at auction. A 1981 penny graded MS 67 or higher by PCGS or NGC can be worth a small fortune. The top pop, perfect condition examples can reach the 5-figure range, and here's the shocker: a 1981 Lincoln cent struck on a bronze planchet with dramatic doubling, in pristine proof condition, sold for a staggering $585,336 at a private auction. That's nearly $600,000 for a coin you might walk past on the sidewalk. So how can you know if you have a valuable 1981 penny? Get a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look closely at the details of the coin, especially the date, the lettering, and Lincoln's profile, weigh the coin. A copper penny should weigh 3.11 grams. Zinc ones weigh about 2.5 grams. A high-precision digital scale will help spot the difference. Check the mint mark. Pay attention to whether it's A, D, S, or no mint mark, compared to known varieties. Use websites like PCGS, NGC, or Variety Vista to look for die markers and diagnostic features. Get it graded. If you think your coin might be valuable, send it to a reputable grading company. A certified grade adds huge credibility and value. Let's talk money. Here's a quick overview of what the market is currently paying for 1981 pennies in different categories. Common circulated copper 1981 penny around 2 to 5 cents just for metal value. Major mint errors or transitional planchets $10,000 to over $585,000. You can sell these coins on auction platforms like eBay, Heritage Auctions, Great Collections, or submit them directly to coin shows and dealers. So there you have it, the 1981 Lincoln penny. A simple coin with a rich history, a critical role in U.S. mint transition, and the potential to turn pocket change into a massive payday. If you've got coin jars, drawers, or inherited collections, take a second look. That 1-cent coin might be hiding a life-changing surprise. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on more coin collecting tips, rare finds, and market value updates. Share this with a friend who loves history or collecting. They'll thank you later. Drop a comment below and let me know, do you have any 1981 pennies in your collection? Did you find any of the varieties or errors we talked about today? I want to hear your stories. Until next time, keep hunting and happy collecting. Today we are diving into the fascinating world of the 1983 Lincoln penny. A coin that millions of people overlook every single day. But what if I told you that one of these little coins could be worth over $585,000? Yes, you heard that right. One single penny. $585,332. Just sitting there, maybe in your piggy bank, your pocket change, or at the bottom of an old jar. And we're going to cover everything you need to know, from the history of the Lincoln penny series, what makes the 1983 penny so unique, what to look for, how to tell if you have a rare one, and how much you can actually sell it for in today's coin market. So, stay with me, because this could change your life. Let's take it back a bit. The Lincoln cent, that's what we officially call the penny, has been in circulation since 1909. It was introduced to celebrate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it became the first regular issue United States coin to feature a real person's portrait. Before this, U.S. coins only showed symbols like eagles and Lady Liberty. But in 1909, the U.S. Mint decided to make a bold move. And that bold move began what is now the longest-running coin series in American history. For decades, the Lincoln penny was struck in 95% copper. That was until 1982, when the U.S. Mint changed the composition of the coin to a cheaper metal, zinc, with just a thin copper coating. Why? Because copper prices were rising fast, and the government decided it wasn't worth spending more than a penny to make a penny. But this transition period created a lot of confusion, and that confusion set the stage for one of the most exciting era coins in U.S. numismatic history, the 1983 Lincoln penny. So let's fast forward to 1983. The U.S. Mint is still adjusting to the copper-to-zinc transition. At the Denver Mint, which is what the D Mint mark stands for, millions of pennies were being produced. But here's where it gets interesting. Some of those pennies were accidentally struck using leftover copper planchets, the metal discs used to make coins. Yes, that's right. While the official minting composition for the 1983 penny was supposed to be zinc, a few rare examples from the Denver Mint were made with the old copper blanks. That's a big deal, because that means you might have a 1983 penny that weighs more, feels different, and is worth thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. But that's not all. There are also error pennies from 1983 that feature something known as a double die reverse, where the details on the back of the coin are duplicated due to a mistake during minting. These errors are incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. And now, let's talk about the numbers. You're probably wondering, how can a 1-cent coin be worth over $500,000? well, one verified 1983 penny struck on a copper planchet was sold for an eye-watering $585,332 at auction. That's because it's an extreme mint error, verified by experts and authenticated by top grading agencies like PCGS and NGC. The rarity, the mistake, and the historical significance all came together to create one of the most valuable pennies in modern history. So, how do you check if your penny is the rare one? Here are some simple steps you can follow at home. Check the date and mint mark. Look for the 1983 D. The D should be right under the year. If that matches, you're ready for step 2. Weigh the coin. This is the biggest clue. A regular 1983 D penny made of zinc should weigh around 2.5 grams. But if it was struck on a copper planchet, it'll weigh around 3.1 grams. That might not sound like a big difference, but in coin collecting, it's huge. All you need is a digital coin scale, which you can get online for a few bucks. Look for doubling. Use a magnifying glass or coin loop and check the reverse side of the coin. That's the side with the Lincoln Memorial. Look at the lettering, especially United States of America and 1 cent. If you see any doubling or ghost-like shadows of letters, you might have a double die reverse error. Get it professionally graded. The rarest 1983 D pennies continue to rise in value as demand grows. Here's a snapshot of what some of these coins have recently sold for. 1983 D copper penny, authenticated, sold $4.585, 3321983 D double die reverse, high grade sold for $7,800. Welcome back to the channel RF Coins. Today, we're exploring a fascinating piece of American history that might just be sitting in your piggy bank right now, the 2000 D Lincoln penny. You heard that right. This tiny 1 cent coin minted in the year 2000 in Denver is stirring up some serious attention in the numismatic world. Some of these coins have sold for over $500,000, yes, over $585,000 to be exact. Stick with me to learn why this humble penny could be worth a fortune and how to identify one that might change your life. Let's start with a little history. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, and that person happened to be one of America's most iconic presidents. The reverse side of the coin originally showcased 2 wheat ears, earning it the nickname Wheat Penny. In 1959, the design was changed to honor the Lincoln Memorial, and that design stayed in use until 2008. The year 2000 falls right within that era. Now, the 2000 D penny, the D standing for Denver Mint, was part of a large production run. In fact, the U.S. Mint struck over 8 billion of them. So you might be wondering, how can something so common be worth so much money? The answer lies in details that are easy to miss but mean everything to collectors and coin experts. Let's talk about what makes some of these 2000 D pennies stand out. The most valuable versions are not just any coins minted in Denver that year. We're talking about extremely rare errors, misstrikes, or exceptionally well-preserved coins graded at the highest levels of quality. One of the most notable reasons a 2000 D penny can be worth big bucks is due to an error known as the double die. This happens when the coin is struck twice by the die, causing a doubling effect in the text or images. On the 2000 D penny, doubling may appear on the words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," or even on Lincoln's eye or ear. If you spot that, congratulations, you might be looking at a coin worth thousands. Another rare variant is the center strike. This is when the coin is not properly aligned in the machine and gets stamped off to the side. The more dramatic the off-center, the more valuable it becomes, especially if the date and mint mark are still visible. High-grade, uncirculated examples are also incredibly valuable. If a coin has been preserved in perfect condition without scratches, blemishes, or signs of wear, it could be graded MS 68 or even MS 70, which is the highest possible grade. At that level, some of these pennies have been auctioned for staggering amounts, and yes, I'm talking about figures like $585,000. Now let's talk about the market today. In 2025, the demand for error coins and high-grade Lincoln cents is stronger than ever. With coin collecting becoming more popular thanks to online marketplaces, social media, and a growing interest in tangible assets, these coins are getting serious attention. A 2000 D Lincoln penny in average circulated condition might only be worth face value, just 1 cent. But if you've got a mint state coin or one with a visible error, the value skyrockets. Minor double die errors might fetch a few $100s, while major varieties or coins in pristine condition have fetched tens of thousands, and that ultra-rare one we mentioned earlier sold for an eye-watering $585,334 at auction. Collectors and investors are constantly on the lookout for these gems. eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections are flooded with listings for Lincoln cents, and bidding wars can drive the prices sky high. So if you think you've got a 2000 D penny with potential, it's worth getting it authenticated and graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. That small investment could result in a major payday. So how can you check if your 2000 D penny is worth a fortune? First, grab a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Look closely at the lettering for signs of doubling. Inspect the date, the mint mark, and Lincoln's features. Is there anything unusual or out of alignment? Next, examine the coin's condition. Does it have any scratches, dings, or discoloration? Or does it look as shiny and sharp as the day it was minted? If it's in superb condition and possibly uncirculated, you might want to consider professional grading. Finally, compare your coin to reference photos and videos online. There are tons of resources that showcase known varieties, die errors, and strike patterns. Educate yourself so you can spot the difference between a common penny and a life-changing discovery. To wrap it all up, the 2000 D Lincoln penny is more than just a copper-coated coin. It's a piece of American history, a collector's dream, and in some cases, a ticket to incredible financial gain. Whether it's a dramatic error, a rare mint variety, or a flawless example of coin craftsmanship, the 2000 D penny has proven time and again that even the smallest things can carry the biggest value. So don't toss those pennies aside. Search through your jars, wallets, and old coin rolls. You never know what treasure you might uncover. And if you do find something interesting, drop a comment below and let us know. We'd love to hear your story. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin collecting and want more videos like this, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on the next rare coin that could make you rich. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy hunting and keep checking your change.